In this video, we're going to go over the coming to sitting milestone. I'm going to talk about the vision required to come to sitting. I'm going to do a demo of what an optimal coming to sitting looks like for a child. And then I'm going to talk about one of the biggest tips I made use of when I was trying to learn to implement movement lesson. And then finally, we're going to show you some practical at-home exercises that I do with my child when I'm working on his coming to sitting milestone. If you're a child and you're learning to come to sit, you're on your back, and we're first working on that grabbing your feet milestone, where they're twisting through the spine and pumping kind of almost from foot to foot. And what's happening here is we're transferring the weight from the shoulder down to the bottom part of the pelvis. And that's what begins this rock. Or you can grab your feet here and you kind of get this like pump. So you're pulling down on the one side, well this side is lifting up, and pulling down on the other side, well this foot is lifting up. And you're gonna see little babies, they're rolling around, they're just looking around at stuff and they're playing. And then all of a sudden what happens when they're doing this is when they're crossing their midlines, their momentum gets a little bit faster. And then all of a sudden they might see something that grabs their visual attention. In this case, in this example, I'm gonna have this little toy here in the corner. I look over, oh, I see something that's visually interesting to me, and I'm up for it. We're crossing midline, we're going from shoulder to shoulder, we're transferring the weight from the top of the shoulder down into the bottom of the pelvis. We're getting this nice roll, this nice momentum. I go to reach, and I'm over and I'm up. Doesn't require core strength. Sometimes you might see people when they go to get up, they use their stomach muscles, which is what I used to do before movement lesson. Or they might kind of do a pull where they're pulling themselves up. And in all of those examples where they're not doing it optimally, they're just not making the most effective use of the transfer of the weight from the shoulder down to the pelvis. They're also not making good use of that rotational momentum through the spine to kind of throw the weight down. That momentum makes use of gravity to help bring the weight of the upper half of our body, which is heavy. That momentum will help tip it over. If you ever see like a bowling pin that's laying down, you know, there's that point once it gets up to a certain point where it'll just kind of dump the weight down and the pin comes up. And that's the same way with our bodies. Side to side. And then up. See how you can specifically see right here on this hip, you can see that rolling momentum as the weight dumps down and the rolling momentum as the weight dumps back. So this brings me to my second point. The biggest tip that I made use of when I was first learning movement lesson was sometimes I would get too hyper-focused on things like, where's my hands positioning supposed to be? Where's this going? What am I doing? And I kind of felt lost. So one of the things that I did that really helped me understand how to move efficiently was to teach myself how to move efficiently to begin with. So as you see here, I'm on a nice soft mat. My point is, if you want to learn movement lesson and how to teach your child movement lesson, I suggest learning how to move yourself and just try some of the movements, see how they feel. If you know the movements yourself in your own body, it's going to be easier to teach your child those movements inside their body. If you like any of my ideas, I'm just going to show you some of the tools that I'm using to work on this milestone in this visual arc. I've got these cute little flashcards which have different like textures on them and things like that, so it gives them more than just a visual but a tactile response to go with the visual. I've also got other little cards, some tape. My son is super into superheroes. We've got superhero stickers, and I've got some big sheets of paper that I'm going to make use of. So if you want to recreate these exercises, those are a few items that you could make use of to help make them more successful. I also got my Lego bin here, which we're going to do some playing with. Hi, what color do you like, little guy? Green, blue, or white? Oh, he likes green. So we're going to take our green paper and And we're gonna create a point of visual interest. I find that if you're trying to work on something when it comes to any sorts of therapies, if you hate it and your child hates it, you're not gonna really get a lot out of it. The cool thing about movement lesson is it can be a really fun play that you can do with your child. It doesn't have to be hard, it doesn't have to be work. It's just you spending time with your kid. If they're having fun and you're having fun, everybody's happy. And then the whole session is a lot more successful than if, like when I first started, I dreaded it, I hated it. I didn't think I was doing anything right, I didn't know what I was doing, and it was a lot of work. And so I showed you a demonstration of what coming to sitting looks like through the back, and we need to understand that in order for it to be optimal, we need a visual arc of the upper quadrant vision, we need a whole body rotation, we also need weight transfer, but we need the proper momentum to go with all of these movements together. And so when we really take a second to think about movement, it kind of is astounding to realize how actually complicated it can be. Because if we're missing any of those key points, then the coming to sitting isn't going to be optimal. So my visual arc on the left is a little bit higher, my visual arc on the right is going to be a little bit lower. So I'm just sticking them on. This is where we're working on the coming to sitting milestone through the visual arc. We're not necessarily doing a movement lesson on their body, but we're working on strengthening the muscles of the eyes for those particular arcs. So I'm just sitting in front of you like this, and the visual arcs that we're working on is upper quadrant vision, a visual arc to the left, a visual arc to the right, in the simplest form of coming to sitting. And so when I want to do that, I'm being mindful of where I'm offering the objects in that arc, and then doing it very slowly and particular to get the eye to track within that arc. We need the...
Look at
What do we need?
Look at the pendulum.
Dr. Strange, we need the magic keys to unlock. The magic keys to unlock. Oh, get them. You got them. Great. You got the keys. Just working on that upper quadrant vision. Oh, and when he loses the object, I like to keep the object where it was, so that when he comes back to it, I continue on with the arc. Beep, beep, I need your help. Help me. Can you? My car is stuck. It ran out of gas. Yes? Baby ducky. Hi, baby ducky. Look at our friend. Our friend's here.
Mommy.
Our friend.
Mommy.
Oh, he wants his mommy back. Hold me. Will you pet Mr. Puppy? He's so sad. Oh, he's so soft. Having those textile cards are really helpful for that reward of giving them something to touch and feel after they complete the visual arc I'm working on. Can you go? Good job. You know, your child really just wants to spend time with you and play with you. And if you spend time with them and you play with them, they have fun. Oh, I'm going to do it again. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Kitty goes in my...
No.
Oh, wait. Help. Oh, are you frustrated? Oh, frustrated. That's okay. Sometimes we're frustrated. Baby.
No. The boy is like my tail.
I'm just staying focused on my goal. He's not being particularly super cooperative, and that's okay. My goal is just to have him down here and my face, or I'm using stickers on my nose, or I'm just singing him a little song like Baba Black Sheep, and then I try and get him to grab my hand and like, kiss my hand, and then as he's trying to reach to kiss me, I roll him up into sitting. That's how I'm working with his vision, and I'm able to see his vision while I'm also working on that movement lesson touch, where I'm rotating the weight transfer from the upper shoulder down into the bottom hip and the head. Can we sing a song? In this case, the point of interest is a little clip, the microphone clip on my shirt. So I'm laying him back down, and then he's going to reach for the microphone clip, and then I'm just rolling him up into sitting. Even him in standing there, I can work on that visual upper quadrant arc. You're just rolling along the spine. You want the spine to not only roll up, but you kind of want it to push in. That's what you do when you look up. You'll feel the spine rolling up and in. So if he's just standing there and I can't get him to do the actual exercise, then I can work on the coming to sitting milestone through other pieces that are required for that milestone. Meow, 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 meow.
I want my kid.
Meow, 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 meow. Help me, I'm sleeping. See, right now I'm working on his reach, and I've got my hand here in the front where I'm rolling out, but I'm also using my own chest to roll the spine in as he uses his upper quadrant vision. Those are pieces that are required in order to come to sitting. I hope these gave you some fun play-based ideas of how you can work on the coming to sitting milestone through some simple exercises that incorporates the use of vision, a whole body movement, a functional movement, and making use of your entire body and not just your hands in order to help transfer that movement into your child. It will just help you better understand where you're transferring your own weight and their momentum. One of my favorite ways to work on vision, especially with my child, is to have him sitting in my lap. And if he's sitting in my lap here, and I know he's gonna go over to reach for a specific object, I might have my hand on his chest, I might release the chest, but I'm rolling my own body in as I'm guiding his arm over to reach. And with that, we're gonna go, because Mr. Grumpy's ready for bed.